Hello, Algebra 2 for Mr. Fry. Today is the 25th, 225, and we are going over quadratic equations with the quadratic formula. And if you didn't get this in class, I have a couple blanks here for you to fill in. The solutions of the quadratic equation are also the x-intercepts of the graph of the quadratic function, also called zeros or roots. So the reason why we use this is because some problems cannot be factored or solved by square roots. So the quadratic formula, this right here, can be used in this situation to find the quadratic roots, or the zeros. So we're going to be using this, remembering this whole plus minus thing. We're going to do like the end of the problem twice. We're going to do it where we add all of this to this, and then divide by whatever 2 times this is. And all of these, I believe it's 1. So it would be divided by 2. And then we're going to do it where we subtract this from this and then divide by 2. Okay, what am I talking about? Let's take a look at it. I'm going to do the odd ones. You're only doing 1 through 6 because these do take a long time. There's a lot of things to fill in. First of all, we have to remember that we have, if I look at this one, we're going to have A, B, and our C, parts of the quadratic formula. Okay, so this is going to be whatever's here is my A. Since there's just one x here, we're going to just assume, we're just going to know that there's 1 there when there's nothing there. This is the one where you don't see something there. There is a 1 there because there's 1x. If there was nothing there, if it was 0, we wouldn't even have x squared. Okay, because 0 times x squared would be 0, so we wouldn't be doing this. B is this number right here and that negative there, because it's minus 6, that becomes a negative 6. And this is only a 4, it's a positive 4. But if there was a negative here, we need to remember that that was a minus 4. So let's work on one of these. So this one we did in class, but if you missed this one, here it is. My A is 1, my B is 10, and my C is negative 2. I plug in, I rewrote the problem, the quadratic formula here, and then I'm just going to plug in all my B's, my C's, my A, plug in all that information, and then once I plugged in that information, I work the problem out. And this, he said you could leave like this. And I left it like this because this does not come out evenly, like square root of 108 is, some decimal number, 10.3 something or something like that. So you could leave it like that when it's a decimal. Here's the addition part, here's the subtraction part. I didn't have enough room there, or else I would have put them together. So these are the 2 answers. X could equal this, and X could equal that too. Number 3 is a little cleaner. I have my A, my B is negative 8, and my C is a negative 20 because I had to rewrite this equal to 0. So I had to subtract 20 from both sides. I plug in all my numbers in my A, B's, and C's using that quadratic formula from the top of your page. Okay. And then I start working it out. And I did that on my paper because I don't have enough. And look at this one here. I have other problems around. So I start working it out. In the square root thing, I end up getting 144. I didn't stop there. You know how number 1 we stopped? Because this is so easy. Square root of 144 is 12. So we can go all the way and just finish this. 8 plus 12 is 20. So 20 divided by that 2 is 10. And then here's where we do it twice. Here's the end. Remember, this was addition, this was adding. Now we're going to do the subtracting, because remember, we're going to add and subtract. We got to do that end twice. So I'm just going to take 8 minus 12, and you get negative 4. So negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So these are the zeros. These are the roots. These are the answers to that. Okay, this is where that quadratic equation would be crossing the x-axis. If we were to be graphing it, it would be at 10. It would cross at 10 and way back at negative 2. For number 5. For number 5, my A, my B, and my C. I plug them into the quadratic formula that's at the top of your page. And just remember, like back at this one, this was negative 8, but remember, and the formula is a negative B, so a negative 8 became a positive 8. That's how that one stayed that way. This became a negative 6 because B is a 6, and it tells you to give a negative B there. So you just got to remember that trick with the negatives. If this was negative 6, then this would be positive 6 here because two negatives make a positive. Just remember that stuff. Okay, so I plug all that in, and then I start working it out. And here's number 5 worked out for you. 36 minus 40 ended up being negative 4. This one's easy enough to keep going too. So I went ahead and did it because the square root of negative 4 is 2. And then I go ahead and solve this negative 4 divided by 2 equals negative 2. And then the other problem, the second half of this, I got to do minus 2 there. So negative 6 minus 2, I get negative 8, and that's all divided by 2. And that equals negative 4. So I have negative 2, negative 4 as my answers for number 5. To help you get started with number 2, I rearranged it so we have our A, B, and C. Here's our A, B, and C. Got to set it to 0. This 4x has got to jump in between the x squared and the 11 because I need it to be before this number that does not have the variable with it. This one's already set to 0, so here's your A, B, and C. This one to get you started, this one's already set to 0, and here's your A, your B, and your C, all negatives. And good luck with solving those, and just look at that, use that formula. If you can only go this far, you could just you only need to go that far. You don't have to work it any farther than that. Just combine everything underneath that square root bar, and you should be fine. Good luck.